How to reject the street programming. I want you to look at that graphic right there. How to reject the street programming. You got a kid looking at a screen with a bunch of code on it. That's how it is growing up in the inner city, talking to the parents out there. Your kids outside playing or riding the school bus or riding in the car with you, looking out the window into this world we live in, and they're seeing things and it could be programming something. They see the dude riding on gold Dayton's. Now the program being set. I want to ride gold Dayton's. How I do that? They see the dude with all the girls, the street dude with all the girls. Now they thinking I want to be street. They being programmed right in front of your eyes. Sometimes you're just not even paying attention. They're being programmed. A lot of kids that I'm seeing when they go to school, they only go to school for 8 hours, if that long. But they're on the streets or at home more than they are at school, and they get most of their programming from what's happening at home, what they watching or what they taking in, and what they learning. Environment. Whether you want to believe it or not, your environment can program you. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's real. You grew up in the projects, you could be programmed. Project programming. It's a different kind of programming. You grew up in some of the in the inner city housing, a different kind of programming. Survival will program your mind to do some different stuff. You got to be careful about that. You got to reject that. Like my boy Pill say, man, kids out here hungry. They don't got it. And they could almost get programmed to go get it, go take it from somebody because they don't got it. And then you get caught up, you go to the legal system. Now you got to program yourself how to survive in the box with other people that has been programmed to survive. Other people that's going to press you like you was pressing people. They going to press you. And now you got a choice to make. So we have to reject, our youth has to reject that street programming because nobody wins in the street. Nobody. Most of the times in the streets, dead, in jail, and probably one of the worst things that can happen to somebody in the streets, I've seen it happen, is when you get older, the only people that can verify or vouch for you or your reputation, your street reputation, are the people that you grew up with in the streets. What happened when most of those guys go to jail or those guys, they die and get buried, they in the ground? Who is there to vouch for your reputation now? 15, 20 years down the line. All the work you put in, a whole new generation of kids, and they're looking at you like, I don't even know who you is. You're like, I put in work back in the day. Okay, that was back in the day. It happens. Times change, generations change. And I've seen it. Street people get older, and the only memories you have is pretty much what you have, and you really can't even talk about them because they can incriminate you. So you really can't even share them. Or doing some stuff that's so crazy you have to carry that. Feel like a burden. You got to carry those things. You got a body. You call bodies. You change your life around, but you feel like you got to carry that baggage of, taking lives or robbing people. You got to carry that because now you got to look behind your back. You don't know if that person coming back to get you. So we got to teach our kids to reject that street programming because it's not doing them any good. It's not. And I give you, when you get in the corporate world, it don't matter. They don't care about where you from. All they care about is, do you have the skill? Are you reliable? And are you going to put in the work? They don't care about what hood you from. They don't care about what set you repping. The only thing they care about is, can you do the job? So let me know in the comments, how do we reject or get our youth to reject that street programming? Because that street programming is really taking our kids down through there. They thinking they could do stuff that they really shouldn't be doing. They getting access to stuff that they shouldn't get access to. What you don't realize, man, in your 20s, you're not going to have major amounts of money in your 20s. That's only like probably like a 0.5, not even a 1%, like half of a percent of people in their 20s probably got money like that, either from an inheritance or they, got big in some kind of field, whether it's acting or music. But a lot of people don't get there that fast. It don't happen like that. But when you out here in these social media streets and you seeing people with money up to their ears, holding it in their lap, you thinking, I can do that too. You don't realize how much of their money is really real and how much of it is it's like paper money. It's that fake bundle of money you can buy. When you understand, I think they said in Forbes only 6% of people in the U.S. is making over six figures. Think about that. Only 6%, a 6 percentile of people are making over six figures in the U.S. Let me look it up again just to make sure. I want to make sure I'm reporting this right. All right, what's the percentage of people? Making six figures in the U.S. Okay, last time they checked, it was 17%. In 2023, 17% of U.S. households made between, this is household. This ain't even individual. Yeah, you're right. According to YouGov, 7% of adults aged 18 to 24 earn over 100,000 compared to 16% of adults aged 55 and older. 7% is very low number. Like if you lined up 10 people, maybe one person. Not even 10%. Maybe one person making that. And it only gets when you get, most time you don't reach your financial maturity until, like you said, into your 50s, 55 and older, and they're making 100,000 or more. We got to change that as a culture. We really have to cultivate our kids to get educated early, and they can raise that percentage early. But the cycle that happens, street programming that happens, most dudes when they graduate high school, they either get caught up in the drug game, the woman game, or the street game, depending on where you live at. We have to change that. You need to get caught up in the education game. You need to get caught up in the vocational game. Or you need to get caught up in some kind of trade, being a firefighter or something like that. For some reason, we have tricked ourselves that we don't need education And right now, that's why we are always working the lower tier jobs as a culture. A higher percentage of us work the lower tier jobs. Go look on LinkedIn. And I just heard that United Healthcare are laying off 30,000 people. Most of the jobs are the call center reps, those lower tier jobs. Who do you think are working most of those lower tier jobs? We have to get our kids cultivated to get educated early. We have to. We have to. We cannot assume that our kids just gonna get it. It's not gonna work that way. We have to change the game. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Help us grow so we can reinvest back into the channel. The more you support, it don't cost a dime to hit the subscribe button. 90%, I think I've seen people are looking at it unsubscribe. Imagine if just 75% hit the subscribe button. That's all we asking. Just hit the subscribe button. It don't cost nothing to do it.